Hello everyone, my name is Arek Stopczynski. I'm a grad student from Technical University of Denmark, also visiting here at Human Dynamic Labs in Media Lab. Today I would like to talk to you about going beyond big data and towards deep data. Our human communication is very complex. We start talking on one channel, then we switch to another one, we call each other, we send each other messages on Facebook. It's very complex, we switch all the time, even if this is only about one topic. Our mobility is also extremely complex. Where do we go? How do we get there? Sometimes it's very easy to measure that, sometimes it's difficult. So when we think about big data, when we have usually this one or very few channels that we observe, but for many users, we have the feeling, or we get the feeling, that it's not enough, that we are not really observing everything that is interesting there. And for this reason, we feel that we need to go deeper. This is why in Denmark we have started a study where we have 1,000 mostly freshman students to whom we gave 1,000 phones that can sense their behavior using FANF open sensing framework. We can measure the face-to-face interactions, we can look at the calls they make, we can see the messages, we can also track their mobility. We also observe their Facebook interactions, and we ask students questionnaires related to their health issues, demographics, and so on. The mobility data that we are collecting is of extreme resolution. This is really beautiful data set where we can track people, how they move around. And when we have that, we can start asking questions such as which places are connected to each other or which places are related, which places are close to each other in the semantic space, how people move around the places. We can enhance our understanding of mobility, not only using one channel to improve our mobility detection, but also understand what do we actually see if we only have access to one channel. For example, if we have only access to GPS data, we see the very rough outline of the paths that people travel. But if we get access to the Wi-Fi that phones of the users scan, suddenly we can recreate the paths that people travel with much better resolution. We can observe the dynamics of the network. So this is color-coded different study lines of the students, and this is a single day, this is face-to-face meetings. We can see how the network evolves and changes, and then there is afternoon and evening, and people mix together and go to the parties. This is Friday. It's very fascinating. We can look at how can we actually predict mobility, or how can we better understand mobility if we know about your social structure. If we know where people that you know are, can we then understand where you will be next, or why are you going there? Wonderful thing is that we actually have access, or we have channel back to the user. We can do nudging, so we can use experimental setups to actually provide insights to the user in order to modify their behavior and hopefully to improve their behavior. At the same time, this allows us to create services for the users, applications that are actually interesting and engaging, to create the value for the user to make them more interested in participating in the experiment. You cannot really do things like that without thinking about privacy. This is why we have a big emphasis on understanding and studying the privacy itself. We are encouraging users to understand what they are sharing and with whom, and for what purpose, what are we doing with the data. At the same time, we are giving our users access to all the data that we are collecting, and they can look at the data just in the format as our researchers are looking at it. We are also using the actual study to understand what is the impact of privacy mechanisms on both the participants and the researchers. This is an amazing time because this is the first time we can study human behavior with such unprecedented resolution.